Welcome to Gilbert, Arizona, the site of tonight's 6A Arizona AIA football game between your Highland Hawks and the Skyline Coyotes, joined by Peyton Gallagher. I'm Alex Call. We're incredibly excited to bring you this one tonight. Highland and Skyline, a big matchup for them, but they come off last week, the Hawks, to a big victory, 49-10 last week over Boulder Creek in that game. Gage Daly passed for 4 touchdowns and over 150 yards in the game. How does Highland keep that going forward tonight?
Well, Alex, I think it's very simple. Protect your quarterback because he's got burgeoning confidence. That last drive, although it didn't end in the result they wanted to against Hamilton, was a coming-of-age moment for the young quarterback as he has blossomed over the time since that game. He was excellent last week against Boulder Creek, throwing the ball down the field to his explosive playmakers. You know, he's an underclassman quarterback with upperclassmen receivers. And when they get that mind meld going, it's poetry in motion. That's what happened last week.
Well, you mentioned one of those upper-class receivers last week was Tanner Crandall. 3 receptions for 64 yards and 2 total touchdowns in the game. Big night for him. How does he keep it going tonight?
Well, he's so fast, and he's gotten only faster in his time here. He is so good in space and vertically running up the field, outside the hashes, and testing a secondary. I think you just let it fly. It's one of those Tyreek Hill, Pat Mahomes type connections where it's like, well, he's down there somewhere. I'm just going to put it up and let him run underneath it. That's how you get Crandall involved, and that's how this coaching staff has chosen to do so far this year.
So one thing that has been a struggle for the offense in the last couple of weeks, they lost their starting tight end, Big Red as we know him here, Tyson Roner, starting a new tight end this weekend. That's going to be Colton Ellsworth. And how does the Highland keep him going here tonight, get him going, rather?
Well, we talked before the season even started with Coach Farrell about next man up. And the school lost so many players last year from a really good team. He's just like, at this point, that is the mentality. I don't have to teach it. Everybody is ready to play. That's the culture of this program. And Ellsworth, ready to step into the moment. He'll get his opportunity tonight.
And just like you said, Peyton, we're going to go down to our sideline reporter, the third member of our crew, as we welcome in Jack Johnson, who is with Colton Ellsworth. Jack, take it away.
Well, guys, I'm here with Colton Ellsworth. And Colton, you took over for Tyson Roner after his injury in week 2. What has the adjustment been like for you?
I was just mostly defense, so I had to get in the playbook, just really learn the plays and in and out of them, so I could take over and be efficient.
And then, both playing offensive and defensive, the one player that comes to mind is obviously Daniel Wood. You're going to be playing both sides tonight as well, so have you talked to Daniel at all, just getting his advice about how to play both sides of the ball, how to stay hydrated during the game?
I haven't really talked to him, but, I just got to make sure I'm prepared for both sides of the ball for when I'm needed and stuff.
And then I talked to you a little bit about this before, but you're going with the All Grays. It is First Responders Night, but I want to get what's your favorite look on the field?
I'm going to have to go with the Murdered Out Black because it's just, you can't go wrong with Murdered Out Black. It's just a clean look.
Yeah, absolutely. Colton, thank you so much. Best of luck for you.
Thank you.
Back up to you.
Thank you so much, Jack. We'll go back to him in just a couple seconds. But, Caitlin, we got to talk about this Highland defense. Cam Cullimore has been fantastic all season in linebacking core for this Highland Hawk squad. 7 total tackles last week against Boulder Creek, 4 of them solo tackles. What has been the secret to Highland's success in the linebacking line so far?
Well, we weren't on hand for last week's game against Boulder Creek, and I was listening back to the broadcast ahead of this game preparing, and Jack Johnson, who was on the call for that one, said this is one of the best linebacking cores in the state, and I balked at that for a moment, but then I really thought, I challenge you to find a better group. This 4-man unit is so good. Kingsford, Cullimore, all the guys in this unit, Wood, they're experienced players.
Teague Treese
as well. They hit hard. They're experienced. They know where they're supposed to be, and this defense brings blitzes from all 4 of those linebacker positions. You just don't know when the pressure is coming. This group is so good and is a heartbeat of this defense.
Yeah, and something that's also been good for Highland on the defensive side of the ball has been their defensive line. Moni West had a sack for 12 yards lost last week against Boulder Creek, and we're going to send it down to Jack Johnson with our interview with Moni.
Well, I'm here with Moni West, number 42. And Moni, in preparation for this team this week, obviously you looked at the film against Boulder Creek. You guys played so well against Boulder Creek. Boulder Creek played so well against Skyline, so the transitor property, you guys should play pretty well tonight, but you never want to overlook your opponent. So what are you expecting going into tonight's game?
Tonight we're looking forward to really covering those run games. We're looking forward to closing down those run games tonight and just focus on our bull technique, try and pressure the quarterback and do things he's not prepared to do.
The one thing that I always think about with your defense is you guys are never in the wrong place, ever. So disciplined. You're always in the right place. You know, when you get beat for touchdowns, it's because the other team just happened to play better on that specific play. What is it about you guys that allows you to stay so disciplined during the course of the game?
My defense, we stay disciplined, especially in practice. We put countless hours into the week, especially watching film, doing a lot of install, helping us prepare for this team. You know, me personally, we do a lot of conditioning. We prepare ourselves mentally, especially for this game.
And then my last question for you. When you look at that student section right there, they're rowdy. Tonight's Jersey night. So what's your favorite night for Farrell's Fanatics when they come out and get rowdy?
You know, football games aren't the same without the student section. They're there hyping us up, saying things to their team, you know, hyping the crowd up. They're just, Friday nights wouldn't be the same without them. I'm really, really happy for their sport for us.
Manai, thank you so much. Best of luck for you tonight, all right? All right. Manai West, number 42, and we'll go right back up to you guys for the rest of the pregame update.
Once again, thank you, Jack, for all your reporting in the pregame. We'll be checking in with him periodically throughout the game. And Peyton, it's a big matchup tonight, Highland versus Skyline. How does Highland get the victory here tonight?
Well, you've got a young quarterback. Trust him. That's what they've done to this point, and I don't think that's going to stop tonight. Throw the ball vertically, get the defense stretched, and set the tone early on. Same goes to the defense. They've been so good to this point in the year. Just let them play. Trust your players and go get the job done. They're undefeated in 2019 at home. Hopefully for Highland fans, expect that to be the same case after this game.
Yes, Peyton, it's a big matchup coming up tonight. Your Highland Hawks take on the Skyline Coyotes right here from Gilbert, Arizona. On the other side of this break, we'll have the starting lineups and the kickoff coming up. You're watching Highland Hawks football on the Highland Hawks TV network. Check out this week's hike video.
Gage Daly, class of 2022, quarterback.
Zach Schroeder, class of 2020, receiver.
True Tanner, class of 2020, wide receiver.
Tanner Crandall, class of 2020, wide receiver DB.
Noah Boone, class of 2021, left tackle.
Max Davis, class of 2021, running back and safety.
Colin Ellsworth, class of 2021, defensive end.
Brigham Bent, class of 2020, left guard.
Jack Fitzpatrick, class of 2020, center.
Zach Taysom, class of 2020, offensive guard.
Jackson T-Wall, class of 2020, defensive line.
Kyle Olson, class of 2020, DN.
Monai West, class of 2020, middle linebacker.
Daniel Wood, class of 2020, running back, outside linebacker.
Robert Kingsford, class of 2020, outside linebacker.
Cam Colmore, class of 2021, middle linebacker.
Tyler Archibald, class of 2020, outside linebacker.
Jackson Delsey, class of 2021, corner.
Jay Sean Lee, class of 2020, corner.
Ammon Allen, class of 2021, free safety and receiver.
Dawson White, class of 2020, safety.
Welcome back to Gilbert, Arizona, along with Peyton Gallagher. I'm Alex Gall. We hope you enjoyed our pregame content, our awesome hype video in the starting lineups. But we are just about ready and set for kickoff here at Highland High School. It's the Highland Hawks, your Highland Hawks, and the Skyline Coyotes. Peyton, we talked a lot about it in the pregame, but this offense has the potential to explode. Do you think they do here again tonight, and what is it going to take?
They're dealing with injuries, obviously, at the tight end position. They've got to plug a new player in Ellsworth and a couple other spots. Teak Treese also not in the lineup tonight for undisclosed reasons, at least to us at the moment. But this offense is going to continue to get better every week. You've got a quarterback who's seeing live bullets for the first time in actual game scenarios, and each week he's going to grow more and more confident and more comfortable. Gage Daly clearly has the mock-up, I should say, of an elite high school starting quarterback, but as he gets those feet settled into those big shoes that he has to feel from Herbert moving on a year ago, he's going to get better and better each week.
And Highland's offense, like we talked about, will be paced by Gage Daly. Tanner Crandall will be on the outside for Highland as a receiver. True Tanner, the converted quarterback, will start also at wide receiver alongside Zach Schroeder. 3 talented wide receivers in that group, Peyton, along with Grayson Kennedy, the 4th receiver.
All those guys have speed, all those guys are elusive, and all those guys are great route runners with good hands. They pretty much combine the package of attributes you want in a receiver, and it makes Gage Daly's life a lot easier, having those guys out in the perimeter making plays for him.
They'll be up against a tough Skyline offense led by their quarterback duo of Blake Roebuck and Jack Nelson.
Roebuck is a guy who transferred in a year ago, had to sit out last year, but he feels he's gained so much confidence coming into this new year being the guy, the starting quarterback. Now, a new regime here for Skyline with Coach Hawthorne coming in, and we'll talk more about him throughout the night. But he's given the keys to the car to this young quarterback in Roebuck, and he's done a good job of leading this offense. But the question today that needs to be answered is whether or not he'll have enough firepower to answer what Highland has to offer.
Yeah, and before the game, Peyton, I talked to Highland and Skyline's coaches, especially those Skyline's offensive coordinator, who told me that Jack Nelson is the best athlete on the team, and they want him on the field pretty much every play. So when he's not playing quarterback, backing up Roebuck, he'll be out there as a wide receiver in 4 wide receiver sets, and he'll also be playing free safety, the starter on the defensive side of the ball as well. Lots of two-way players for this Skyline Coyote squad as well, Peyton.
It's a very good point, Alex. When you think of Nelson, think of Christian McCaffrey at Stanford or Percy Harvin at Florida. He's just going to do it all. You want to get the ball in his hands, it doesn't matter if it's directly snapped, doesn't matter if it is a situation where he's getting the ball on an end around, doesn't matter if it's a bubble screen. They want to get the football. The pigskin needs to touch his gloves tonight, and expect to see him early and often.
Definitely, Peyton, as we await the teams to come onto the field now. We'll check in with Jack Johnson throughout the game, the 3rd member of our crew tonight. 2 fantastic pregame interviews, as you saw on our pregame show. We hope you enjoyed our pregame content, and we are just about ready and set for Highland Hawks football here in Gilbert, Arizona. But before the Hawks kick off the ball, we'd like to remind you, are you paying too much in taxes? How does the new tax law affect you? Contact WeechFinancial.com to find out. That's Weech, W-E-E-C-H, Financial, as you would spell it normally. Peyton, great time to do taxes.
I mean, if any time is a good time, I guess now, sure. I'm sure no one likes to play. You know, they say the 2 certainties in life are death and taxes. Hopefully Highland can add their name to that list in providing good football.
Also like to thank Venetia's Pizzeria for providing today's pregame meal for Highland's varsity players tonight. We always are thankful for pizza, and the concession stand here at Highland High School is top-notch. The Chick-fil-A sandwiches are in the building, so if you end up making it to any game this season at Highland, definitely check out the chicken sandwiches.
Again, I ask, why would anybody want to go gluten-free when pizza's an option, right? Doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me.
I mean, you said it, not me. As we wait the coin toss now, as both teams coming out to the field. Those are your captains for your Highland Hawks. Amon Allen out there, the free safety, 6'2" junior on the right side of your screen. Josh Allen also out there, the 5'9" junior, as well as Brigham Bent, the tight end. And finally, the 4th captain on the left side of your screen is Amon Allen. They changed places a little bit.
Nice look here tonight for Highland. You know, we see them switch it up on a weekly basis with all those great Under Armour uniforms that they have. They're going with the all gray, the battle gray look tonight for this game.
Definitely a interesting look from the Skyline offenses we'll see tonight. That 2 quarterback set is something that we don't see a whole lot in today's game, but if you have an athlete that you want to keep out there as much as possible, it's definitely to your advantage to run the Wildcat set as well as they do with Jack Nelson.
Well, I think more than anything, Alex, this offense just wants to keep the defense off balance. They want to throw different looks at this 3-4 that Highland plays and make their linebackers get active, make them tackle players like Jack Nelson in space. That is the high school game nowadays. In this spread era that we exist in, get your best players the ball and get them in space so they can make plays. Again, here tonight, Skyline no different than the norm that's presenting itself all across the country.
So the coin toss is completed. Skyline will receive the kickoff in the first quarter, meaning Highland will take the ball to begin the second half of play here in Gilbert.
And it feels like Highland's special teams unit makes a big play over the course of pretty much every game that they're involved in, whether it's a blocked kick or a long field goal, a kickoff return. It feels like they're able to create something in this facet of the game. It's something they do very well and has contributed a lot to their success.
Definitely has, Peyton.
Some of the best kickoff coverage you'll find at the high school level anywhere.
Waiting kickoff here. We're 6 minutes behind the scheduled kick at 7 p.m. Definitely a great night, though, in Chandler, Arizona. Clear skies, 100 degrees at kickoff as the players take the field. Was a high of 108 today, Peyton, and it's been a scorching heat in the valley as of late, and it's not letting up anytime soon.
Well, the good news is, if there is any, that these guys practice in this all summer, and they're used to it. Their bodies are ready for it. Now they've played a couple games at this level of intensity, at this level of heat. So they're ready to go. Hope you guys are ready to go at home as well.
Jackson Ray is your starting kicker for the Highland Hawks tonight. Has a great leg, a great boot, and something he suggested to the PA over here. Read some of the player bios in my free time this week. He wants him to play that clip from Kane Peel. Nice! After every touchback and made field goal.
Well, he earns it. Jackson Ray is so effective in placing the ball where it needs to be, whether it's a scripted short kick to let the coverage unit get down, make a play, whether it's him putting it through the back of the end zone, whether it's him putting it through the uprights. He has been so good this year in the stead of a great kicker he's replacing from a year ago.
Jackson Ray boots it away, and we are underway here. Fielded just inside the end zone. He gets up with it, and he's going to be stopped and play whistle dead before he can run out of the 10-yard line. On the return, or lack thereof, from the Coyotes is number 12, Corey O'Bannon.
Oh, my goodness. They're going to say this ball is down on the foot line. Corey O'Bannon slipped into the end zone, and I thought that might be good for a touchback, but they're going to say he was in the field of play when he caught it, and an awful start, to be quite frank, for Skyline. This is a nightmare scenario to start this game. Highland in a great opportunity here defensively to set the tone right from the get-go.
O'Bannon, the starting wide receiver, one of them at least for the Skyline Coyotes. Senior out there for Skyline. They've had some struggles as of late. Lost to Boulder Creek earlier on this season. It's going to be a shotgun formation. Takes the snap in the end zone, hands it off. He's going to be tackled right near the line of scrimmage, pushing forward, and I believe he did get out of the end zone.
Second push, really good effort to make sure that didn't end up in disaster with a safety. Nice churning of the legs by Tariq Deeb, the running back.
Tariq Deeb will start tonight at running back as he's out there right now. A couple other starters for the Skyline offense. We mentioned O'Bannon. Grayson Cook will also be out there as wide receiver, as well as Willie McGowan and Dylan Pemberton. You might also see DK Dorsey, the two-way player, out there as well.
This would be a great opportunity for Skyline to get Nelson involved and use his legs to try and stretch the field and make the life of this offense a little bit easier.
Second down from their own goal line practically. I formation set. Hands it off, push back into the end zone. It's going to be a safety. Push back into the end zone. We'll see forward progress. No, it's 2 points for the Highland Hawks. and a fantastic push on the line from the defense.
And Highland's home games this year, they have started fast, much to the delight of this huge home contingent here at this game so far. We saw earlier in the year against Alhambra, they scored 21 points in the first 45 seconds. Within the first minute, they're on the board here. This time, the defense contributing the score.
Front three for Highland today is Jackson Tewalt at nose guard, Kyle Olson outside on the defensive end. The other defensive end today, you heard from him in the pregame show, is Monai West, the 5'10 senior, makes the start tonight. Logan Wills, the 6-foot senior, had started earlier on this season. A little bit of a change in Highland's starting lineup, but they do rotate in those front three, and you might see Wills later on in this ball game.
And that time, the group that was in the game for Highland just flat out won. They got the push off the rip right from the snap, got into the backfield and forced the running back to redirect right into the arms of the linebackers for the safety.
So if I remember correctly, Peyton, there will be a kickoff, but it'll be from much farther back. But it will be from Skyline to Highland, and they'll be traveling back the same way, right to left on your screen. And it'll be the first kickoff return chance for the Highland Hawks. They've got a couple fast guys back there, don't they?
Yeah, watch out. These guys have already returned a kick touchdown so far this year, and it looks like Tanner Crandall and Daniel Wood will be the guys returning. They're going to get a chance to run this one back.
So Crandall and Wood, the dual tandem, standing just beyond the 25-yard line on the right side of your screen. You can't see him right now, but you will be able to once the ball is kicked off.
Not often that you get to see a punt return touchdown after a safety, but it is a harvest full moon tonight, and the Bugaboos might be out for this one. Could see something pretty cool.
Marcus Alvarez, the 220-pound senior, will kick it away for Skyline, and Highland will get their first chance to take one back. Kick is in the air in the direction. It's short, and it's going to be fielded past the 50-yard line. With a burst of speed past the 40-yard line. What a move, and Highland will start inside Skyline territory. And a great return. I believe that's number 43.
I think it was actually True Tanner.
It might have been Tanner as well.
Yeah, I believe it was.
True Tanner, the converted quarterback, a 6-foot senior, threw for 93 yards on 9 completions in 2018, but has moved outside for this Highland offense led by quarterback Gage Daly. They'll start in the single back formation. Daly under center, takes the handoff, hands it off with a big hole on the left side. There goes Wood, and he's tackled inside the 10-yard line. Big first down for the Hawks.
Really nice run to set the tone right out of the gate for Wood. He found a hole and exploded through it, and right now, Highland is revving on all cylinders, trying to punch it into the end zone and give themselves 9 points.
You also see Max Davis out there as well for Highland, takes the snap. Go to the right side, trying to push forward to the 5-yard line. And off the screen pass, they gain about 5 on 1st and 10, or 1st and goal, rather.
Really nice play by Andre Allman, number 23 in white. He shot the screen, saw it and identified it early. Couldn't take the right angle to make the tackle, but forced the receiver to get outside and forced him into the grateful arms of his friends.
Grayson Kennedy on the reception. 3 receptions for 35 yards last season. In 2018, Wood gets the handoff, trying to bounce to the left side, falling forward, falling for a touchdown! Touchdown, Hawks! And it's an easy 8 points so far for Highland, bearing the extra point.
That is why running backs do ladder drills. You want to keep those feet moving, you want to keep them active, and you want to keep the legs punching. Right there, Wood with a couple cuts in the backfield before finally picking his hole and putting his shoulder pad right into the chest of a defender before bullying his way into the end zone. Great run by Wood.
Wood and Max Davis have been fantastic this season as Jackson Ray's extra point sails through the uprights. It is now 9-0 in favor of your Highland Hawks with just a couple minutes gone on the scoreboard. 9:48 left first quarter. Peyton, what have you seen so far from Highland's offense?
Well, pretty much everything you want. It was 3 plays and wasn't necessarily the longest way to go, but they executed very efficiently on everything they were able to, not necessarily having the game a little bit. They were the
sponsors and single for being season donates to our play. He's played
of all those down the shoulder helmets. Part of his footballers.
He got to
Allen. You can't let the kicker because you're your receiving team from what they would with Allen only about position.
forward hard and
really lost from the run. Burst in quick because someone could
you see hijack there.
that old best on the back. It did.
It's 2-9. Throwing one over the end out in the
got in it, set the butt. The homework just didn't sit down the field.
Bucks here for this Coyotes. Points to the yard. Able to buck. This Namath not happening. But not
really nice for the round. But what's a player? This player they're not mad.
And 2 down.
We know
as play is dead. Fly out. He highly
it's going to build for two teams.
Doing all
guys in the shot.
If they won the game.
I could be the just here the front. Guys with him time.
So we're 10 each side. Those at left. Back the other reception. And
I like some all over right out for that with missing get ball out of those.
Entry up there wearing Blake lost a young
was no checking even a bit of look how many plays out of you.
Give it third down twice.
They're easing Lake on a trick for high reward. It's not get them the old way.
Talk about him when I was at 42. Olsen on and
I think Nelson
Nelson see all that. Roll buck claims him
to leave the for game.
With their Nelson's one in the 7 14, it was bad. Even
exactly where it's supposed to right there.
Pass some play. I'm not
rally to the that if able to call it job to the now.
What a tension first line to sit now. He got hit bench
again as
40 though to the brand and feel that nobody and by Reed from the 49 line.
From corners out that you're ballard.
Listen of throughout the first week.
Will look you.
Well. Brian Fox throws offside is complete. Out the on in the front.
Watch the so spin guard or homing killing on the little
10 Thor's got looking and it is Nathan to that for Terrell.
What's that frame?
Worst from Craig. Starts he's in his here. I find out not getting no.
Love the daily boy if you from the ball out. The question makes up it. Got it on the island.
For the right receiver. It's of your side after flight fine. Handle for Skyline and he's back to the contact line.
That is the right. Excuse me, Dan.
Just touching you. Go. And he's 100 matches. See, West have a 3. The hard have you ever what the injured? Yes, assuming on Highland. Dave tell that there. Fake roll seconds only enter. Double it seconds with a strong piece and he nerd to
that a little bit tough in the trip. Now she falls.
I'm serious to get up in there. Think with it.
We're sound to see the trunk and
so it's 4 hacks. In.
Highland against was 2 goals. Cullen and short is the second.
Hold the kick. It is 4 Fox is out of the score in the first quarter.
But I beat with 30 than where he can.
Getting it in case from this. So 12 now and 3-1 in the best Hawks. Got the life lift high, better life to take home. Sponsor Damn City Candy. They're by individualized and of healthcare to Celebrate Arizona. Thank you again to Desmond Golden. One on the clock. Receiver on the
Can have the kid 14 each exam.
2-1 like can 10 yard. Let's make sure him back to 34. Got
next he hit on the chin strap just like middle in the host deep.
Now years here. One for high fast. Johnson and Bill is cheap.
Came on the corner. It throws Ricken. The whole game the game not stands once again and with his hair reasons. Really key in between.
Third and a chart and that's cool.
Is with
and get out and it will mutter.
Plus the ball go a little bit easy. How did I get down points order out by
40. Here's Red. Corner see her. Nope. Flat one. The one. Really it is. You know it's what will see it. 94.
You're being every time.
Touch goal. Have
we'll say last for us, but Uncle Wallen making it the long success.
Even out the ball. Of teaming. Quarter is still.
And I'm an analysis all seems off the so setting the tone in well game. Very in for late teams.
So Highland sit down for Highland. One go first play. I'm seeing what do you
and team close and nearly
play for
get their black hats to the football and make that play. Another punting situation in Highland trying to X out another space on the bingo card. A punt return touchdown would do that.
10 minutes to go in the second quarter. It'll be 4th and 4 yards, so a no gain on 3rd down. New punter in the game for Skyline is Dale Jones, the senior. Kick is up, and it's nearly blocked once again. It might have been tipped. Taking a bounce. Will stay down. Get Rocky. Clock in the 98 to like the third member of the top team.
Has the team friendly for us. It's 3 blocked punts. We were tonight has been first. It's not full out of 8 for his it will fit. And I think this would be no she's behind the difference. Another board guys.
Thank you for hearing it. Take up and hand him. He would can do
this one guys just keep on that like silver United
sales right.
Haven't really touched in, but come together. They just on work
part they've been able to defense. Getting some subs in there. I believe that was number 35, Tyler Archibald. Tyler actually made the start tonight, the 5'6" senior.
Treese not in the lineup this evening, but Archibald has done a fine job.
As Jackson Ray's kickoff sails into the end zone for the second straight time, 33-0. Highland Hawks with 5:03 remaining second quarter.
Offense is clicked, defense is clicked, special teams have clicked, and everything is coming up aces right now for the Hawks. We're starting to see some heavy substituting on the defensive side of the ball as Highland has asserted their will early on. A great opportunity to get some of the other players that don't necessarily play that much into the ball game, get them some crucial experiences. Guys, like we've seen already this year with Ellsworth having to substitute in at tight end, are likely going to have to play at some.
Line takes over, stand off,
substitute linebacker ball. Really jump, got that field. If you want that back, really large for the
25-yard line. Second game now.
Opportunity you're down the bench. They've also effect through and have the first in the position.
Outland for glad to be with you and all and putting a field.
This pair.
Oh no, that's the face.
One injury said after error. Clearly executed as an audit. One of the hired so down is you really nothing to down 3 you all bit up on it away.
Randall and couple go. For this
ran off set 5 yards in Cody.
Man out kicker. Don't find it.
I did not with when it looks like back. This one completely on
he can go in run on Highland and get 4 grand as only 4 got by red probably today.
Defensive can is out 40
a touchdown actually.
Those guys, the only one this week is Randall. This week, 23 last week about.
So interception great. It's one line on touchdown.
Why you walk out football.
The men not sure how the other doesn't get up to a
center only their numbers repair up for one. Yes, no is in more and win and each like all next night.
Okay, so at the time minute for line such a bad kick.
Just left the close to the earlier.
Force from Highland ducking offensive.
It's about the business and just have to get you how you play.
Okay, done with the downs and just in time from
now getting and so shaft last I would so this with a lot of cool thing. I'm just the minute whistle as Coline is
Highland with the Fox here. And the 22 will down for the image.
I'll just everything staying on play. It's like something every time I'm there so that every just the air my close up in
take care of the stuff as default image.
Here as this is just a shoe plum pretty to the in the if this continues to happen.
Team having services from Usher and all of his stream. Down for it coming is on the screen part of the field. Jump field now.
Look at this two and make still do all and hard cam back on his
40 so in the half.
Highland ring was something Mark.
Is Perez. Nice to get to the side. We got 6 get 10 special for not
back from the team play 4 points extra for 7 if they through.
It's in a 42
close about 2 of a half smile
with obvious work for not even who. They're hunting second time
in our best fit can do sort of and every road right on Highland can bunk the home well over under the home shoots here. That's speed is deliberately.
Jack kick goes in touch.
I think it was I promise. I'd play it for him.
Good dude. In the middle of that isn't. He has excellent bandit or bear. We're seeing her first lead on the middle. Jimmy, he the second on the outside, you're out of ball.
Well, Creek you got and not killed this comp. They think
as the rack up, just got yellow. We didn't do it. I'm they've been fighting all out. Just hold in the future. Good start and if you said Patrick's coming too. I'm doing
the teams play case. We're going to you guys.
All teams are important. Part of our we the hash. How would you not practice?
We're here and it's playing swinging into the replacement two other.
We never with this go back look out playing with the US.
I think correlation not all taking it back up to you.
You know, it's other things like slide page, such as vertical and everything else. Back for one corner, there's but I say already back a good and I would as well. There is a center back to the city and remember going to keep the train. No, that's
on the broadcasters. Find out.
Might be. And that's just that's like roll at least a 2 for the Highland and any well. As I mentioned, Laker start by every time of Highland Fun Festival. Community, we can't keep shit up and take a quick break. And take that in some things to connect to the way side of it.
My dad, my dad, my great student, yours, barbecue, cheese, I lost sounds. Playing with my dogs. Play the sport. And I love the game. As a beer gets bomb, I blow. And one of me out to
One solution for student inching and special six. Thank you, EduPoint, for your sponsor of Highland Hawks football. As Sumarka, get your strong.
Head of that
will have hands. Please let you half go. Here, I see support. One trainer number 7.
This is for the main this is that's going to be happy with to play. He doesn't team.
Gage online back to the game first third going Jack Lottery Jack.
They've been on fast. This is eventually you're up. Another
we off from decent play all Highland line. 12 on for like bringing of high very hard tonight. What the first together Jack.
Tyson runs up. Highland's go to bring that hit on him run expels on the rest to the lot of come behind display. It is. So definitely for the time to see.
Jack something in the south. I heard him. They Jack the most and Jack is your product.
I think guys game from there. I'm going to have your work on the floor. You other game you've got games to the bro. You want to make your head of them game very long.
It's a the Hawks a lot of time so many are parallel.
So back and Jordan almost on it.
So return Highland and take the field for Jack Howard.
I don't know they call me in front of this Highland.
Then all that him Schroeder has onto the field side.
Sal's Schroeder's
I think
yeah, for nothing.
Oh, it's something better when it's
all by the season was assigned again to an class or for reading Julie. The one he was good for
this for 30 year goes Mason Brady the straight 7
and a little bit off like that there right is a man offense alone.
It's the first for the hard you fumble goes out. There's the only goal
okay, as young man some fighting difficult that's that
it's hard
and I know Cheryl told you have one of those is well
he built wrestling is actually starting bomb guard line
start to other players get the first one to finish like you're little being suspended on their mind it's a touchdown he's on really hard on band
outside 3 4 line
7 he's all of them is 7 continues on to the 4
into through middle box.
Throughout this game we've seen Davis, we've seen obviously Wood who's been the star in this backfield. Now you bring this guy in and let's get a little bit more physical, a little bit of extra beef. They're running the ball for Highland. This guy 136 pounds they say, but I think that might be a little bit on the light side.
2nd and 2 from the 32. Pass is complete on the near side of your screen. Going forward with it, almost to the 20-yard lines, and a first down and 10 for Highland on the reception by number 80, Adam Nelson.
Nelson, a junior, will probably see a much bigger role next year as some of these receivers move on to the next level. Again, just to get game, and actually this from my favorite.
It's had a couple on blind help.
Quickly into the 4.
Going by our Cuppins. Into for the Skyline. Pitch back. They were picks on the others when you're all. I don't know. Beat him. Back under running back the game was there on your look. And the great tonight left Arizona.
Okay, fan of this is like
gonna be the game they off inside far. And time from
the back. Number 9 stack to 96 this time. Follow that. 30 to 3rd and 10. Well, he's foul. Just the ball to the third.
Long here for us. Take now. Yeah, quick for sideline forward. The front was more.
I think
move to go in his hero. Carter as well. Down.
Great opportunity.
Down their own. From the line, right now, aiming for the foul line. Braden Bond.
He's here for two.
With an injury. He did this season. This is go pretty far behind. And then goal. First by Foyone. And down.
Not at their friends. Work. They're not playing. He's playing very one enough point in the ball.
And but he was looking for a corner team. I was first one. That West was on.
So that is being very. He adds also to it.
And one. It's been.
That is a kicker trick. That has been also there.
22 go to team Jack.
This game of here in Navy against Rick. Absolutely interesting with the summer back. Things Alflin, Jr. It bluster this knee back. Here's how Highland back. All you can have going on the obviously it's to come with Highland.
Thank you for his 7 and off to get a quarter of the be brought out of the end zone. Senior chief
the ball pretty much pretty nice pass. There's a lot of play and hand the ball up on the sack with
definitely has over. Quarterback still there. Blake he should frame about 4 made attempt at with 40
still of the hole. He's been dominating all along and he put a player right now.
Quarterback it off behind it. Tyson low side left dude.
There's some out there guys right the quarterback go.
He did not get a mile in. In so far, he's now for all the presence to make it in the exterior. Over the field, Airbus Rowan. Really driving a fighter. Start to
see a team. Tell her cousin they have this team. All these families. I'm sure Cheryl is
mentioned that now. With the beat it actually good your bones. Play every minute till you're the catch high. The band for is away and for the time it's like Highland 30 seats.
Out of that time, but we on team. Let the now
First edge point solution unit rosters 2 minutes and 21 as now just brought that knock has run to the field.
Just an expert. Highland time will run it down. That guy
would be the 4th start. Whistle. It's a critical post touchdown. Less than that lap for the 5 on. Number 10.
Jeffrey Adams. First down, but was small 141.
More and Cameron in front. So 10 block secured.
Running Highland back do
so Elder was hard no era as tone friend big team picks one in the was is for here he's rock and
under the full do Coyotes Highland and you want 6 on the
by Highland Sky offense
again so many times over recent the game and that great for us they were really execute just trying to like this and it probably gets good
for talking coming up this boss
Corona desert their diesel matchup just leave on the beers like
go down our ratchet and this with Highland
halftime hold man down not for to have spoke and this will go to play at school here but Coldwell is to fight back
no occasion in Arizona high school but all kids are possible big year Alex Stevens running second half so who's feeling the season
into the front
that's we can big
should be never going to reach
want you to who is the same out of there will get down and
in the so what do you achieve for yours this win?
Yes, and you can rank all you get here. So
see remarkable. Excellent team and you said walk.
In my try number in that I don't have it for you here.
He's got like not specters.
And Andrew interviews your on the field line throw 25.
He got in. Every those fences the 2 about. I said this about let's be the
talked to the these teams we cared about more obviously put 5 margin and obviously I like that